ידיד נפש ורחמן משחר עבדך אל רצונך ירוץ עבדך כמו היה ישתחווה אל מול הדרך ירב לו ידיד דייסך מן האפסוף וכל טעם אדוני זיו העולם נפשי חיילס אהבוסך ינהל נרפה נהלה מהארץ לה נמצבך אז תשחזק ותשרפא והיסלה שמחת סולם ושיק אמונה רחמך וחוסנה בין אהובך כי זה כמה נחשפתי לינויס מהרה בספר סוסך לך חמדה ליבי וחוסנה ואל תסלם הגלנה ופרייס חביבי עלי יסוקס שלומך תאיר ארץ מכבודך נגילה ונשמחה בך מהר אהב כי במאי וחננו כי מעולם did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie lie did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 yeah ma 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it yeah ma 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 did it lie 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 lie. Let's start the first of the 6 psalms that are read before we start the Chadodi, corresponding to the 6 days of work. Lech נרנן אדוני נריע לצו ישענו נקדם פניו בסעדה בזמירוס נריע לו כי הגוד אדוני מלך כל הכל אלוהים אשר ביד המקדש וסייע וסלם אשר לא יעלם ויסוף ויבושש ידו רצון בואו נשתחווה וניחני וכל לפי אדוני יעשה לכולנו ואנחנו נעשה Hatak shel Kiriv came as Midbar. Asher Nisuni Aviseichem Bechadudi Gamra Ufali Abaim Shana Kodedoim V'Yamar Antoye Lev Avheim V'Heim Lo Yadu Derachai Asher nishbati v'yahapi him yevayun el menuchasi. And at this point I will stop. Perhaps we'll do some more next week. A very good Shabbos and welcome to you all, members of the Sheffield Jewish community and beyond. We've stopped doing this Zoom on the Friday afternoon because it is too early and most people have indicated they won't be able to join. Instead, I'm going to start doing the YouTube videos, all being well, and sending them out in advance of Shabbos, hopefully, please God. This week is the third Sedra in the Parsha, or in the book of Genesis. It's known as Lecha, and it's Genesis chapter 12, the beginning of chapter 12, and goes to chapter 17, verse 27. In it, God speaks to Abraham without the hay, commanding him, "Go from your land, from your birthplace and your father's house to the land which I will show you." There God says he will be made into a great nation. Abraham and his wife Sarai, accompanied by his nephew Lot, the son of his brother, journeyed to the land of Canaan. They were approximately in where is now Iraq, so they're journeying westwards towards what will be Israel, where Abraham builds an altar and continues to spread the message of one God. A famine forces the first Jew, that's Abraham, and his wife, to depart from Egypt, and there, beautiful Sarah is taken to Pharaoh's palace. Abraham escapes death because they present themselves as brother and sister, although they tell the authorities that she is married. A plague prevents the Egyptian king from touching her and convinces him to return her to Abraham, and to compensate, the brother revealed as husband with gold, silver, and cattle. Back in the land of Canaan, Lot separates from Avram and settles in the evil city of Sodom. There he falls captive when the mighty armies of Chedala Omer, a king and his 3 allies, conquer the 5 cities of the Sodom Valley. Abram sets out with a small band to rescue his nephew, defeats the 4 kings, and is blessed by Melchizedek, the king of Shalem, which eventually became Jerusalem. Shalem, and Abraham called it Yireh. You put Yireh and Shalem together, you get Yerushalayim. God seals the covenant between the parts, the first of many covenants made with Abraham, in which the exile and persecution of the people of Israel is foretold, and the Holy Land is bequeathed to them, that is the Jewish people, as their eternal heritage. Still childless 10 years after their arrival in the land, Sarai tells Abraham to marry his maidservant Hagar. Her maidservant. Hagar indeed conceives, becomes insolent towards her mistress, and then flees when Sarah treats her harshly. An angel meets Hagar in the desert, convinces her to return, and tells her that her son will father a populous nation. Ishmael is born in Abraham's 86th year. 13 years later, God changes Avram's name to Avraham, adding the extra hay, and Sarai's name to Sarah, which means his name, Abraham, means the father of many nations, and Sarah means the princess. And he then promises Abraham that a son will be born to them from Sarah, and they should call him Isaac, Yitzchak. And he will indeed become a great nation with whom God will establish a special bond. Abraham is commanded to then circumcise himself and his descendants, indeed, to carry on that tradition, and this will be a sign of a covenant between me and you. Abraham immediately complies, circumcising himself and all the males of his household, and that's how the Sedra concludes. There's lots of messages that one can derive from this. Avram changing to Avraham. In fact, in the verse, God says to Avram, "Say, come out of the house, let me show you the stars." And so he shows him the stars, and he says, "You asked me if you're ever going to have children from Sarah. Look at the stars. Can you count them? No. Well, let me tell you, your descendants will be as many as the stars of the sky." Now, That is the simple translation of the words of the verse. But Rashi brings down another interpretation. God is saying to Abraham, leave behind your astrology. You're looking at the stars and reading things from them, your horoscope. And Abraham says, why? I can see quite clearly that my horoscope says I will never have children from Sarah. And God says, you're right, but you're reading it wrong. Because Avram will never have children from Sarah, but Avraham will, because I'm going to give you another letter to your name. That letter is Hey, part of my name. And when you have my name as part of your name, then you are elevated above the stars and no longer dictated to by what the horoscope says. So, this will be a lesson to you for the future. What is the lesson? I suggest as follows. There are lots of things out there that predict. A Jew has to know that his predictions are entirely in the hands of the good Lord, and he doesn't follow the ways of the world. He or she is not affected by those things in the same way. They are above the stars. A Jew and a Jewess needs to know that everything that happens to him or her is part of a divine plan over and above what the natural order of things is supposed to be. It is a supernatural plan. We aren't following the horoscopes. We never read horoscopes. They're full of horror. So, may this be a wonderful week for you ahead. May you stay nice and healthy. Before I leave you, I do want to announce the yacht sites for this week. Today, Alison Anderson has yacht site for her father, Baruch Mordechai Ben Zev. Tomorrow, Everett Jacobs has yacht site for his son, Aryeh Hillel Ben Meir. On Sunday, Judith Blake has yacht site for her husband. On Monday, Rose Ballin has yacht site for her mother, Basha Bas Michal Eliyahu, and Sue Rayner has yacht site for her mother, Sarah Malka Bas Eliezer. On Tuesday, Melvin Ballin has yacht site for his sister, Golda Bas Gedalia. And on Friday, Freda Welensky has yacht site for her mother, Ethel Bas Moshe HaKohen. We wish everybody have a wonderful week, and we should all be well. Meet you again this time next week. Good Shabbos.